What's up, guys? Today we're going to talk about a term that the social justice warriors and feminists, hashtag not all social, let me try it again. Not all social justice warriors, not all feminists use. I feel like I have to put that disclaimer before I say a group does anything, because then they can say, well, not all of them do that, so you're just painting a broad stroke across sweeping generalizations. But the fact is that only social justice warriors and feminists use this term to delegitimize a white person talking about pretty much anything. They can use it towards anything. It's called white fragility. It's a completely retarded term, and it's a double standard that social justice warriors and feminists use. So basically, whenever a white person complains about anything, about what they feel is someone being racist to them, or institution being racist to them, or a law being unfair, or just anything. It doesn't have to be about politics or society. Just anything that white people are complaining about that social justice warriors or non-whites feel that they shouldn't be complaining because they have white privilege. They're so privileged, that's just a minor issue. You know, they're just spoiled and they're complaining about a tiny little thing that annoys them, but they have it so much better off than everyone else, they shouldn't be complaining about it. Then they use that term, white fragility. Because when we complain about something like, oh, you're getting upset, or you're getting angry, oh, you're just so fragile, you know, that's how they use the term, first as an insult, and then to delegitimize any conversation or argument that we have, because it's just us complaining, just us being weak and frail and fragile. That's what they use. And I find that term very annoying for some reasons, and unfortunately they shape language, they shape definitions, they shape words, so no matter what you do, you are always in the wrong. For example, when a Hispanic person, let me back up, when a person supports the wall that Donald Trump says he's going to build, people call that racist. Well, then there's lots of Hispanics who support the wall also. I did a whole video on that before. So that would break the social justice warriors' argument that it's racist, because how can a Hispanic person be racist towards their own race? Well, they made up a word, internalized racism. So no matter what race you are, if you differ on your opinion towards the wall is different than the social justice warriors or the feminists, then you're racist, no matter what you do. If you're white or non-white, Hispanic, non-Hispanic, you support the wall, you're racist, no matter what. That's how they shut down the argument, because you can't even have a conversation. They don't want to debate on the merits of the issue. They just want to call it something. Nope, that's bad. It's bad. You're supporting something bad, and a conversation. So when white people complain about the term white fragility, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. See, they're complaining, they're whining, they're getting mad that we're calling them fragile. That just proves the point that they're really fragile. You see how it works? So either you accept the fact that they view all white people as fragile, that they are uncomfortable about talking about race or privilege, whatever, or if you get mad at it and say, no, I'm not fragile, I just have a different opinion than you, well, that fulfills the prophecy that you're a white person who's fragile. So just, no matter what you do. And that's annoying, because you're not debating me on the issue at hand. Like, let's say we're talking about police shootings, for example. I would say an argument that they didn't like is like, oh, that's just white fragility right there. No. Debate me on the issue of police shootings. Don't call it something. Don't try to invalidate it. Don't try to derail the arguments, whatever. Just debate me. But they can't do that lots of the time because they're wrong. They can't defend the weak positions. They come up with all these terms trying to invalidate your argument, so that means they don't have to debate it. So that's the first reason why I don't like the term, because it's not healthy for conversation. It's not healthy for an argument. It's not healthy for two people trying to understand each other's point of view, because you just try to shut it down. Secondly, to equate all white people complaining about something and getting mad about something as white fragility, just because you're mad about something, you're complaining about something, doesn't mean that you're fragile. People would say that my ranting videos are white fragility because I'm a white guy, half white guy, a white guy, complaining all the time and yelling and being mad, but that's just the character of the series. But they can't understand satire and humor. It's called Robert's Rant, so I get energized and I talk and I curse and I yell, because that's the thing I'm doing. On my other videos, I don't fucking do that. But they can't understand that. All they see is a white guy yelling into a camera on YouTube. It's like, oh, that's those stupid neckbeards, those misogynists that hate feminists. Just know those fragile white people. Thirdly, and this ties into the second point, the social justice warriors and the feminists are the last people on the face of the planet to be calling other people fragile. Look at all of the people who want trigger warnings for every other sentence known to mankind. They want safe spaces where people they don't like and ideas they don't like can't come. The raging feminists just hysterical over the tiniest things, the smallest disagreements. They blow up on Tumblr. Tumblr is just a huge example. And you're the people calling me fragile because I get animated about something. You're calling me fragile when look at your side. When you're pointing at someone, look where the other four fingers are pointing. My God. You're the one who's fragile. You're the one who just cry when someone says something you don't like. Who insults people and calls people names instead of debating the points of the argument. You just try to attack the person, not the idea. How the fuck is that not fragile? They're raging hypocrites. They're the last people on earth that should be using that term towards anyone else. You may say, well, I identify as a social justice warrior or a feminist, and I don't cry about every second thing. I don't want a safe space for every other place that I go to. I don't want trigger warnings. And that's fine. I'm not saying that all social justice warriors and all feminists are fragile. But you take a look at the leaders of these movements. Lena Dunham, Jessica Valenti, Francesca Ramsey, Lacey Green, etc. All these people that are considered leaders of the social justice community and the feminist movement are all fragile, racist, bigoted pieces of shit. So when many members of your community are fragile and the leaders of your movement are fragile, then you're the last people that should be calling it. I don't know all of you are, but when you look around, it's like, holy shit, all these people are just whining and crying about everything. The people that I profess to like, that are the leaders I look up to in my movement, they're also fragile as I'll fucking get out. So why are we calling these white people fragile? Lastly, this is just a personal thing. I personally have been through a lot of fucking shit. Scrounging to make a living, members of my family turning against me, just having a very sucky life for many, many years. And yet, here I am, still alive and not a raving lunatic. So no one has the right to call me fragile when I have been through hell and back. No, I haven't been through a war zone. No, I haven't got my limb chopped off. But I still have went through a lot of things considering where I am. I live in a very wealthy county in Virginia, but yeah, I don't make a lot of money. I make way less than just the median average income in this county. So for all these 15 and 16-year-old girls who are still living at home, obviously, you know, their daddy's paying for everything, they just sit in their room, la 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 la, just tumble and listen to pop and everything. They call me fragile because I get mad about issues that hurt me or someone else. They have no idea how tough I am compared to them. If they went half of what I've been through, they would be crying and blubbering and asking for their mommy and daddy to help them. Please, do this for me. I can't do it for me. Oh, it's too much wham. So to have all these stuck-up babies call me fragile, when I've been through way more than they can ever possibly hope to go through, it's insulting, and it's fucking retarded. It makes no sense. You don't call someone who, I don't mean to puff myself up, but most people who know me would agree that I'm tough, physically, mentally, psychologically, whatever. So for some spoiled little girl who has no idea what her hardship is not being able to go to every Taylor Swift concert that goes near her area. She only can go to one. That's the idea of hardship. Or she can only invite 25 people to her birthday and not 30. You know, that is what they consider hardship. And then they call me fragile and going through the shit that I've been through. Not even on the same level, not even comparable, just completely different realms. It's insulting for minorities to use the term white fragility to shut down arguments that any white people or perceived white people make when they constantly complain that white people shut down their conversations, try to invalidate their arguments, and don't give them a platform to raise their voice. You listen to all these people complain, social justice warriors and feminists, they say, listen to other people's stories. Listen to them talk. Give them a chance to speak. And I do that. I don't disable the comments on my videos. You can debate any point in any point of the video that I make, and I won't yell and scream at you because that's just the tone of this series. I don't act like that all the time. Duh. My God, why can't people understand that? When my friends post a different political opinion than what I have, I don't just call them fucking idiots. I ask them, hey, why did you say this? It doesn't make sense to me. I believe this. Why do you believe this? Explain to me. Tell me your side of the story. I want to understand. I want to listen. Now, in the end, I may still think that I'm right and they're just completely wrong, but I'm giving the opportunity for them to explain their side of the story. I don't just say, you're a racist bigot, and that's it. No, I don't do that. So, for feminists and social justice warriors to try to shut down my arguments, and then turn around and complain that say white people do that to them, when I don't see any white people trying to shut down feminists and social justice warriors talking. Those celebrities, the leaders of the feminist movement I just mentioned, Lacey Green, Francesca Ramsey, Lena Dunham, Jessica Valenti, they have huge platforms, way bigger platforms than I can ever hope to achieve. Who is trying to silence them? No one's trying to silence them. They have the authority of the reigning power in their respective governments and countries on their fucking side. No one is trying to shut them down. No one is telling them, no, you can't voice your opinions. Like, what are they whinging on about? I have no fucking idea. No one is stopping anyone. Almost everyone in this country has access to YouTube, to Twitter, to Tumblr, where they can voice their opinions. They have their own platform they can use for free. It's especially hypocritical of the left to say that the right is trying to silence them and not tell them and not be able to tell their stories, when the backing authority, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, is on the left side. They constantly shut down quote-unquote right-wing pages, or any page or group or channel that disagrees with radical feminism, radical left, all the fucking time. So if anyone had arguments to say that the reigning authority or the authority behind the platform is trying to shut them down, it's not social justice warriors and feminists. It's the other side. So to have Twitter, Facebook, YouTube on your side, the biggest platforms you could have on the internet, and then complain that other people are trying to shut you down, or you try to shut other people down, that is just a raging hypocritical stance to have. It's a bully. It's the same thing as a bully bullying people in the playground. The teacher comes out, he acts like the other people are bullying him, and then tries to lie his way into getting them in trouble while trying to cover up his own crimes. That's what it is. And it's fucking annoying. That's not a fair way to have a conversation or learn from other people's point of views or try to debate an issue. No, that's slight, underhand, cheating type of ways to get other people shut down, so only people will see your side of the argument. They will only see the big feminist and social justice warriors channels, and the smaller ones will be gotten rid of, like Milo Yiannopoulos got banned from Twitter. I don't even agree with everything he says. Actually, I would wager to agree that I don't even agree with more than half the things he says. But that doesn't mean that I would ever take away his right to say stuff. That's just fucking ridiculous. Then you say, oh, well, he led a hate mob against that one actress from Ghostbusters. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. A lie made up by feminist social justice warriors, and Twitter gobbled it all up and once again silenced a voice on the right while championing the voices on the left. So now you only see one side of the story, in part in regard to that. But they're trying to do that overall. Social justice warriors and feminists complain that we live in a white supremacy where the whites control literally every aspect of our society. If we're so fragile, then how do we have control over everything? And you guys who are not fragile, why haven't you guys taken the power? If you guys are so tough and we're so fucking weak, I mean, that's just hilarious. That once again goes to show that whites holding power is not universal across all facets of society in this country. There are some institutions, some parts of the economy, some parts of society, some businesses, whatever, that are minority owned. To claim it's a white supremacy and that the whites always have the power of authority, the power of institutions behind them is completely preposterous, and not even looking at the race of people that own and run these organizations and parts of the economy, society, whatever. It's just completely retarded, just utterly wrong. And that's why I find that term so fucking annoying. They are wrong to say it coming from them. They use it in situations that are not appropriate. They're hypocrites. Just like every point you can make about them saying that word is completely wrong. Imagine how demeaning it would be if a minority was complaining about the police harassing them in their neighborhood. And then I come in there and shut down, oh, you have black fragility, blacks are so fragile, you guys are so weak, no wonder the police are picking on you. I mean, how racist and how demeaning would that be? I would be seen as the bully, rightfully so. So if it's not right for me to do that in that situation, it's certainly not right for all these people to complain on the internet that whites are fragile because we are angry about something or we're complaining about something. Completely fucking retarded.